Hello my dear friends and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to see something interesting using Excel VBA form. Normally in cases, most probably when you design Excel VBA projects, you might have seen that the actual Excel data file and the user form are on the same file, right? But in case when you are creating a big application or something like that, you want to separate the data in a separate files. Okay. So here the concept is create a user interface, that is a user form and all that, in a separate file, that is XLSM file, where your all the codes are there, and the data should be in the another separate file, that is XLSM file, and you can read that file, update that file using the user interface form. What is the benefit on this? Here the benefit is when you share the file, you don't have to share the data file. Okay, you can put that in a common drive or somewhere else. So it is a secured path in your secured path, and the path is written in your VBA that won't be easily accessible to the end user while using this application. Let me show you the practical example first of all, and then we will see the VBA code, how we can create that practically. Okay, so let's go to my desktop. That I have a folder name example and having a three files over here. We will talk about this VBS file later. First of all, let's see what we have these two files for. This is the data file where our data is there. I'm just opening that file and you can see that it is a password protected. I'm just putting the password and you can see it is having only a data. If we go in the Visual Basic, you can see there is no form and nothing over here. Okay, I'm just closing this file now and going to open this UI form. Okay, and you can see we don't have any data over here. So we have data in a separate file, and in a Visual Basic you can see that I have created a form over here. This is the form. Okay, when we execute this form, it automatically reads the data from that file. If I run this form from here, you can see that I am getting the data. Okay, and these are the data from that password protected file. I can put some information over here and click on a save button. It will automatically add the data in that file. Let me show you that. For example, 111 Rakesh, department, for example, IT, salary 65,000 and date of joining is 10 10 2024. Okay, and if I click on a save, you can see that record edit successfully. Okay, okay, and you might have seen that some file was open over here. Let me show you in that file that the data is there. Let me quit this application. It will automatically close this application. Okay, now let's go to the data file again. I am just adding the password. So this is the data that we have added using the form over here, and now we need to check how we can create this application. I have just copied the user form from the previous example and just updated the layout. I don't have any code over here at the backend right now. We will write together. And before that, let me show you the field details. Okay, I have created 5 text boxes over here, and each text box is named like txt employee ID, txt name, txt department, txt salary, and txt date of join DOJ, and created a list view item. Okay, list view icon with the name LVW data list, and created 4 buttons with the name like CMD save, CMD edit, CMD delete, and CMD quit. We are just going to see about save and quit, and rest of this you can find it in my another videos. I will share the link in the description, as well as you can see over on the top over there. Okay, for edit and delete. Now let's start to do a coding. First of all, let's open our code window, and we don't require a click event. We need a form initialize. Okay, so let's initialize. First of all, we need to read a data. Okay, and going to update this data in this data list. Okay, and to before adding some information, we need to have some headers over there. So to write the headers, let me put it like this. Okay, I'm just going to use LBW data list variable and going to update all the properties. These are the 5 properties that need to be updated. First of all, we need to set the view as a report, LBW report. We are just going to see whenever the row is selected, it should be a full row selection with the grid line as a true. Column header clear, that means if something is already written, we can clean it out before adding our information. I'm going to add 5 columns over here. That is going to employee ID, name, department, salary, and date of join. I'm just putting the index value 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can see that I have added twice this thing, because here 2 things need to be validated. One would be the text, that is second one, and first is going to be a key value, and the last one is the width of that column. Right now it is 80. You can see 100, 100, 100, 100. Okay, if I run this form right now, you can see that it gives me the all the columns. Okay, so task 1 is done. Okay, now it's time to read our data. I am just going to add 2 variables on the top. First of all, to read the backend file path as well as the password. Okay, and I'm going to set in a user form initialize, so it will be happen only once. So what will the path? The path is going to be my data file path slash data file. Okay, I'm just going to copy this. It could be anywhere. It could be in your shared drive or somewhere else. It is going to work with the same. Okay, so I'll just edit this thing, and as we need to load multiple time when we save the data and update, I'm just going to create another subroutine for seed call load data. Okay, and sub load data. I'm creating a separate because I don't want to add each and everything on the form initialize. I'm just going to use this when the data is also get saved. So instead of creating recurring code, you can just create once and use it multiple times. Let me put some code over here. Okay, this is the code, and we have declared some variables over here to read the backend file and read the worksheet. Okay, these are the 2 variables. First variable, we are going to open the workbook, that means the file in this variable, and then after we are going to read the worksheet from that file. Last row is going to help us to read all the rows in the that particular data sheet. If it is a 10 rows, we are going to get a 10 data. If it is 100, we are going to get a 100 rows. I is to loop that value. Range and object list item, this variable is going to help us to put the data in the data list view. Okay, so let's see further. In this variable, I am just cleaning out the data if anything is there already there, because we are going to call more than once this load data, and each and every time it is going to update that list. So before adding again, it should clean out the previous one. So this is the reason we have added this line. Next, application screen update equal to false. This is going to help to avoid flickering while getting update the data. Okay, because we are calling some external file and going to update this file. Sometimes it flicker the screen. Okay, so to avoid this annoying thing, we can put application.screen update equal to false. Now let's open a workbook. First of all, I'm just going to use WB as a workbook because we have that variable, and going to open the workbook. We already have the path in our this variable backend file, and the password is also there. We are putting a parameter named password and going to add the password. So it will open the file with the password. If you don't put this parameter over here, while reading this file, user will be prompted to put the password because it is trying to open the file. Okay, we are reading this file as a read only, so there won't be any changes while loading this data. Okay, and update link equal to false. This is going to help whenever the Excel file is connected with more than one file. You might have seen that update links prompt is there, so this won't prompt you to for that. This line of code is going to help that the workbook, the data file, won't be visible to end user. It will be in the background, so none of the user can see the data directly from the Excel. Okay, next, we are going to read the sheet name. Okay, data sheet. So updating the WS, and we are reading the last row till the last row. So putting this formula over here, WS dot cell row dot count comma 1 is for the first column, and row counts will count till the last first column, last cell has the value. So it is like a control down key from the keyboard and reading the last position. So this variable is going to have the last position. In our case, it would be, I think, 11th row as per the data. Okay, we have started reading the data from the row number 2 because first is going to be a column header. We are going to add on error resume next. In case of any issue while updating the data, it will continue to read with the by ignoring the errors. Next, we are updating this data list view. So for that, we are just setting up the object, and by default it will take the first value as a list add item. Okay, and rest of the column will be the sub items. So this is how we are just going to read the information. Next, we are closing this workbook, and false is for not saving any of the data. And again back we are putting screen updating equal to true. Okay, let me show you this thing, and we can see that something happened over here while running it. Let me show you one more time. When we run, just take a look over here. See, a file get opened and closed automatically, and we have received the information from that our data file. Now next, what if we add something over here and save this? It should save this data to the base file. Okay, so let's code for this now for the save item. Again, we are putting application dot screen update equal to false, so it won't flicker. Again, we are reading the file, but this time we are not said that read only. You can see that we have put read only as true, but this time we are not adding that parameter because we need to edit this workbook. Okay, application dot visible equal to false, reading the data sheet and getting the last row from that, and we are adding last row plus 1, that is the next blank row. Okay, next we are updating the cells. ws.cell last row comma 1 dot value, that means the first column and whatever the last empty row is there, put the employee id over there. In the next column put the name, next as a department, salary and date of join. Okay, so we updated this, and before loading the data I just missed out to write one more line, that is to save the data, because we are updating but we are not saving right now. So to save the data we need to write wb dot save. Okay, so this is going to save your data to that file. We need to close also this file, so wb dot close. Okay, so once the file is saved and closed, then after again we will load that file in the data list, so it will automatically update and close the file. So one section, one activity, and let's get a taste to this. I'm just running this form. You can see we have all the data over here, and again we are going to add one more thing, 112 for example, and let's say Amit Mehta, IT manufacturing department, manufacturing, salary 75,000 and date of join 1/1/2000. Okay, and I'm just going to click a save, and you can see the record is saved, as well as you can see that the data information is also available over here. Let's close this. Let me go to that file and let's see. 1 2 3. Yep, we have that record over here. And that's it for the tutorial. But before closing this, let me show you one bonus tip on this. In initial, I told you that we have the third file, that a VBS, and what is the use of that file. Okay, I'm just going to open this workbook, and I'm just going to uncomment this one, because this command is going to execute whenever the workbook is getting open, and we are saying that user form 1 dot show, that is our user form. I'm just going to save this file and going to close it right now. and you might find something different now. Whenever you open this file, it will whenever you open this file, it will automatically load your form. Okay, but one of the drawback is if somebody else open the file, you might see that it shows the user form and all that, so user can easily access this one. But what if I say that even if you run this form, it won't be shown over here? Yes, that's the magic of VBS. Let me show you the example. I'm just closing each and everything. Here we have the VBS application. I'm just going to edit to show you the text. Okay, we have this VBS text over here. Here the file line of code is going to help us a lot. First of all, I am creating the first line of code is showing to create an Excel object as a named as a my application, my app. And then after these are the two parameters where we are saying that display alert as a false. Yeah, it won't show any alert or message while opening this application. And sometime in case of getting a file saved or overwrite message, so in that also it is not going to prompt us. And we know that we are just going to use this application to as a read only user form, so it's okay there. Next, we are opening this XLSM file with this command, and once it is open and closed by the application, it will quit this object. Okay, let me run and show you. Last time when we run it, you seen that some external data was able to see. This time, let's see. Again, we have the form, and I'm again going to open the Excel file. But this time, you can see in the developer tab that we don't have any XLSM file. Okay, so this is the magic of this VBS script that I'm going to share with you. And that's it for today's tutorial. Hopefully you like this tutorial and going to be very useful in your upcoming projects, or you might be already running the projects. Let me know in the comment if you have any query or questions, or you have some suggestions towards this tutorial, or even if you have some topics to create a tutorial. I love to see the comment and feedback from you. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Keep learning, keep excelling.